Welcome to the Trinity College Theological School Open House. My name is Bob Derenbacher, and it's my pleasure to serve as the Dean of the Theological School. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional owners of the lands on which Trinity College stands. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, who have cared for this country since its creation. We commit ourselves to working for a more just settlement between Indigenous people and settlers. Thank you, everyone, for participating today. Normally, we would be conducting this event in person at our Parkville campus in Melbourne, but due to the ongoing uncertainties related to the COVID-19 pandemic, we are running this open house virtually, which allows us to include some of you who are from outside of Melbourne and outside of Victoria. So again, welcome to everyone. Joining me today are the faculty of Trinity College Theological School, who you will be hearing from a little bit later. Today, we will be covering the following 4 areas. First, what is Trinity College Theological School and what is it that we do? Second, why you should consider Trinity College Theological School for your theological education. Third, the study options that you have with us. And fourth, the various forms of financial assistance for students that we have by way of scholarships and studentships. Trinity College has been around since 1872 and has been offering theological study since 1877. The Theological School is a member college of the University of Divinity, an ecumenical, single-subject university that confers all degrees and awards. Trinity College is situated in beautiful Parkville, just adjacent to the University of Melbourne. And I'd like to now take you on a video tour of Trinity College. Hi, my name is Bob Derenbacher, and I'm Dean at Trinity College Theological School, one of the colleges of the University of Divinity. The University of Divinity offers awards and degrees to undergraduates, postgraduates, and degrees by higher research, like a PhD. Let me show you around our place and tell you a bit about what we offer here. So this is our main teaching space in the Old Warden's Lodge, or OWL as we like to call it. Our teaching staff also have their offices in this building. We've got a great set of lecture and learning spaces, which, as you can see, are adaptable and flexible. They are designed this way because we think so much value comes from the interaction you have with your fellow classmates and your professors. I should mention that all of our faculty are first-rate here. The lecturers that work in this space are really top-notch, internationally recognized scholars. And so it's a real privilege to be a student in this classroom and to interact and to study with these experts in their field. So here at the Old Warden's Lodge, we got some beautiful spaces to hang out in between classes and to socialize informally with your fellow classmates and with your faculty. We think this is a really important part of your learning experience here at Trinity College Theological School. We've got this beautiful courtyard that you can see, and then just behind me we have a wonderful kitchen and lounge space for you. That said, it's no problem if you can't physically attend classes here at our Parkville campus. We know some people really want to study theology but live outside of Melbourne, or simply want the flexibility of learning at their own pace. So we offer virtually all of our classes online as well. We've been doing this for years, so we have a strong distance education program, and our teachers are also experts in this mode of teaching. So don't worry if you can't join us on campus. Not far from the Old Warden's Lodge is a small library you can use anytime. It's called the Leaper Library. But just a 5-minute walk away from Trinity College is this spectacular library, the Dalton McCackey Library, which is one of the best theological libraries in the Southern Hemisphere. For those of you who take classes here on campus, you'll get to enjoy one of Trinity College's greatest assets, and that's this beautiful chapel. Let me show you inside. You're welcome to come into this sacred space anytime for quiet reflection, and we really do welcome everyone to enjoy this chapel. Although we're an Anglican institution, we're open to those of all faiths and none, and we promote open and honest conversation that includes people of all backgrounds. But as an intentionally Christian learning community, we also gather in this chapel for daily morning prayer, twice weekly Eucharist, as well as choral evensong every Sunday during term time. Evensong is sung by the choir of Trinity College, known as the best collegiate choir in Australia, and one that has recorded numerous albums and tours around the world. And hear that? That's them in the background. They're pretty incredible, aren't they? And if you thought our chapel was pretty special, you'll love the rest of our campus. So as you can see, we have plenty to offer you here at Trinity College Theological School. We look forward to welcoming you here soon. I hope that video tour gave you an idea of who we are and what we do, what we can offer, and where we are located. I think one of the best features of the theological school is its faculty. We are a close-knit community of scholar teachers who really enjoy teaching theology, as well as our research and our writing. I've worked at various academic institutions in North America, and I can honestly say that these faculty are really worldwide leaders in their academic fields, and certainly some of the best theological scholars in all of Australia. But at the same time, the faculty are just a great group of really friendly and approachable people. So let me allow them to introduce themselves.
Hello everyone, my name is Mark Lindsay and I'm the Joan Munro Professor of Historical Theology here at the Theological School, where I also serve as the Deputy and the Academic Dean. My areas of academic expertise include the theologies of both Karl and Marcus Barth, the life and work of Dietrich Bonhoeffer, post-Holocaust theology, Jewish-Christian relations, and modern German church history. I've published widely in each of those areas, and am currently writing the first ever biography of the Swiss theologian Marcus Barth. All of those themes and topics tend to make their way, either openly or surreptitiously, into everything I teach, and I'd be particularly keen to talk to any prospective research students who share any of those interests. Here at Trinity, I teach units across the breadth of church and theological history, from the patristic era, that's the period of the early church, through the Reformation, and on into the post-Enlightenment period of modernity. I'm a priest in the Diocese of Melbourne and am currently part of the associate clergy team at St Mary's, North Melbourne. I'm married with 3 sons, one of whom is a recent alumnus of this theological school, soon to himself be ordained a deacon. Again, welcome, and I look forward to meeting you, either in person or on Zoom.
Hello, I'm Dorothy Lee and I'm the Stewart Research Professor of New Testament within the Theological School at Trinity College. I teach a number of units, including the Introduction to the New Testament and also the Gospel and Epistles of John, and sometimes other units too, such as Women in the Bible. I'm also engaged in research and have published a book this year on women's ministry in the New Testament with Baker Academic Press. And also I've published a number of articles and books on the Gospel of John. I'm an Anglican priest, an assistant priest at St Mary's, North Melbourne, which is my parish, and I'm also a canon of the cathedral at St Paul's in Melbourne and also at Holy Trinity in Wangaratta. Apart from that, I'm the owner of 2 beautiful Tonkinese cats and I have 3 grandchildren. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Hi, I'm Scott Kirkland. I'm the John and Jean Stockdale Lecturer in Practical Theology and Ethics. I teach units in systematic theology, theological ethics, and political theology. So if you're a first-year student, you might come across me in Foundations for Theological Study. Beyond there, in the electives, you might see me in Atheism for Christians, or Political Theologies of the Neighbour, or Christology, or The End of History. I'm also the research coordinator, so if you're a prospective minor thesis student or an HDR student, I deal with all the administrative concerns associated with your thesis and also provide some support beyond your supervision team. My current research is I'm currently finishing a book called After the End of History. And I'm in the process of beginning a new one called, provisionally, Political Theologies of the Enemy. I am currently an ordinand in the Anglican Diocese, and I'm on placement at St John's Anglican Church in Toorak, but I'm ordinarily a member of St Mary's Anglican Church in North Melbourne. I'm married to Lisa. We have 1 son, Harry, and we have 2 dogs, Millhouse and Evie. I look forward to seeing you around.
My name is Rochelle Gilmore, and I'm the Bromby Senior Lecturer in Old Testament here at Trinity. I teach most of the units on Hebrew and Old Testament here, including Introduction to the Old Testament and units on Isaiah, Genesis, and Psalms, with options to study the text in either English translation or the original Hebrew language. My own research is mostly on the narrative of the Hebrew Bible, especially the books of Samuel and Kings. I've just finished writing a book on God's violence in the book of Samuel, and I'm currently working on a commentary on 1 Samuel 1-15 for a critical commentary series called International Exegetical Commentary of the Old Testament.
Hi, my name is Fergus King. I'm the Farnham Maynard Lecturer in Ministry and Director of the Ministry Education Centre here at Trinity College Theological School. I've worked as an Anglican priest in Scotland, Tanzania, England and Australia. I run the Monday programme, which focuses on practical skills for ministry training. On the academic side, I teach courses in pastoral and practical theology from a missional perspective, as well as some New Testament subjects. In my research, I'm currently exploring how the writings of the New Testament might have been heard by and engaged with the philosophical schools of Greco-Romanitas, and I look forward to learning with you here at Trinity.
Hi, I'm Chris Porter. I'm the postdoctoral research fellow here at Trinity College. My academic specialty is in the Fourth Gospel and socio-scientific approaches to the Bible. However, more broadly, I'm interested in the intersection of psychology and theology. I'm actually involved in a large-scale research project now looking at religious enmity between social groups and how a psychological or a socio-cognitive model of how religious groups interact may actually illuminate some of those things for us. I'm interested in, as part of that, in how identity is created and managed. And as well as those sort of things, I'm also interested in pastoral care and apocalyptic literature. Here at the school, I teach Greek, some courses on pastoral care, and the Pastoral Epistles and Christian Leadership course. And I'm an ordained priest in the Anglican Diocese of Melbourne here, and I've been serving at St Jude's Carlton and the Inner West Anglican Church. I'm married to Gillian, who's a doctor, and I have 3 young children, Caleb, Daniel, and Benjamin. Good to meet you all.
Hello, my name is Peter Campbell and I am the Registrar at the Theological School. My research area is the history of music in Australia, in particular the development of choirs and church music. I have worked in student admissions and support at Trinity College for almost 20 years, and I stay because Trinity is such a welcoming and friendly place to work. Please contact me with any questions relating to applying for entry to your programs, courses and units, and scholarship support. I look forward to hearing from you soon.
So again, my name is Bob Derenbacher, and I am the Dean and the Frank Woods Associate Professor in New Testament here at the Theological School. My academic specialties include the Synoptic Gospels, the letters of Paul, ancient literary cultures, the religious and cultural worlds of the New Testament, and the portrayal of Jesus in film. At the Theological School, I teach units on the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, 1 Corinthians and Romans, and a unit on Jesus at the movies. I'm a priest in the Diocese of Melbourne and am a clerical canon at St. Paul's Cathedral. I'm a dual citizen of the United States and Canada, and I'm married to Cindy, and we have 2 adult children, Chloe and Jack. One of our faculty members is the Reverend Dr. Chris Porter, our postdoctoral research fellow. I've asked Chris to talk briefly on why one might be interested in studying theology. So I'll turn it over to Chris to speak with you on this important and exciting topic.
Hi, I'm Chris Porter. I'm on faculty here at Trinity College, and I'm also an ordained Anglican priest in the Diocese of Melbourne. You might be thinking at this point, why study theology? I mean, theology for many people can seem passé, esoteric. I think a lot of people have an image in their head of stuffy men with long beards poring over dusty tomes in an ivory tower somewhere, secluded off and irrelevant to the world. But actually, when big problems arise, when catastrophes happen, we start actually asking theological questions. We start asking questions like, why has this happened? What is the problem here? Why are we even here? What is the purpose of life? What is wrong with our world? In times of crisis, we want answers to our questions. And actually, sometimes in crisis, we find people who offer theological answers to profoundly non-theological questions. Personally, I come from a research psychology background, which offers some answers. But ultimately, for me, it just led to more questions in life. So about a decade ago, I switched from the sciences to what Thomas Aquinas declared the queen of the sciences, theology. Studying theology allowed me to delve deeply into the bigger questions of life, and it allows us to do the same. Questions of order, design, intent, purpose. It also allows us to get some answers, or at least insights into those answers. In my case, looking at social scientific research, it allows me to look at how and why groups disagree, why they're antagonistic with each other. Helps me to see solutions to the discord, or at least some indications of solutions to the discord in our world. But rather than just finding answers, studying theology is actually a formative experience. Because studying theology isn't just about the answers that we get from it, but it's about seeing new and better questions to be asked. Questions about human existence, about what our place in the world is. Why are we here? We start asking questions about a way of life rather than a rule book. Theology reveals to us new questions to be asked, and it trains you to ask them well. As you study, you become shaped and you become formed to see new angles, new perspectives, and to look in entirely new areas. It gives us frameworks about how to think about the world and about the things that are around us. Such as in this time of pandemic, why are we missing out on lament? Lament is such an important space for us in this time of lockdowns and isolation. And also, what does it actually mean to love our neighbour? What does it really look like to do so? These new areas and these new questions bring about new fruit in our lives. And in and of themselves, they are fruitful lines of inquiry. However, perhaps the greatest thing about studying theology is that it's not just about getting answers or finding new questions, but it's about a relationship. In the study of theology, you meet the person of Jesus. But we don't just get to meet Jesus in and of himself on our own in isolation, but we see how others have met Jesus throughout the history of the church, from the church fathers and mothers, from the medievals, from the theologians, and from the priests, and all of the saints who we study and learn alongside of. We can draw inspiration from how the people of God have in every time and in every place had a relationship with the divine. So too we can find a life-giving connection for ourselves, for our profound desire and our longing for a relationship with the divine. We get to ask questions about how we live, how we move and have our being in the world. And we get to do that in relationship with Jesus. We start to work out how it is that we, as part of this church, have our being in the world. Not isolated off from it in an enclave like a monastery, but how do we do it as integrated parts of our world? How we interact with the world around us together. How we are to understand God's mission in this world, to work out his purposes in this world, and indeed what it means to be a small part of that mission. So in sum, studying theology gets us deeper towards the answers to the big questions of life. But it doesn't just leave us there. It expands our horizons to new questions, new frameworks of thinking about the world, and introduces us to a relationship with the divine, anchored in the person of Jesus. This study shapes us, it forms us, and it brings new fruit to bear in our lives and in the world. The study of theology is about faithfully studying our world. It's about faithfully studying the scriptures. And it's about our engagement with the divine, so that we can be formed and we can be shaped to live faithfully in this world. I hope you'll join us in studying theology together and embark on this wonderful journey.
Thanks, Chris. That was really helpful. As I said briefly in my video tour, one of the features of theological education at Trinity College is flexibility. You can study part-time or full-time. You could start your studies either at various points throughout the academic year, and you can study face-to-face or online through our sophisticated distance education program. I'd like to now turn it over to Dr. Mark Lindsay, our academic dean, to talk about what sorts of courses of study are available here at Trinity College Theological School. Mark, over to you.
Thanks, Bob. Here at Trinity College Theological School, we have a number of courses available to you, each one of which is awarded formally through the University of Divinity. Which one is best suited to you will depend on a number of factors, including your reasons for studying, your previous academic history, and how long you wish to study for. The Diploma of Theology is well suited to people who have not done any formal university study previously. It's a one-year full-time award consisting of 8 units of study. So if you were studying full-time, you would take 4 units per semester for 2 semesters. At the conclusion of the diploma, if you wish to proceed, you can enter the Advanced Diploma in Theology and Ministry. This is a 2-year full-time course consisting of 16 semester-length units, so it's double the length of the diploma. You can also apply for admission to the Advanced Diploma if you have completed VCE or any of its interstate equivalents. Finally, at undergraduate level, there is the 3-year Bachelor of Theology degree. 24 semester length units in total. You can enter it from either VCE or at the successful completion of the advanced diploma. As you can see, each of these undergraduate awards is progressively longer than the one before, and they each have specific requirements around the number of units you need to take in specific disciplines. Of course, some of you will have completed tertiary level study already. If that's the case, then you will likely be eligible for admission to one or other of the various postgraduate courses. The graduate certificate is available to anyone who already holds a bachelor award in any discipline, theological or not. The certificate program consists of 3 semester-length units and so can be completed in 1 semester of full-time study. The graduate diploma, to which you can gain admission from either a bachelor award or from a graduate certificate, is 6 semester-length units, meaning that you can complete the course in 1 year of full-time study. You may, of course, wish to go straight into master's level study. That too is possible. Which of the 3 master's courses you choose depends again on your purpose for studying and your prior qualifications. If you hold at least a bachelor level award in a theological discipline, you can enter the Master of Theology, which is 10 units long, or between 18 months and 2 years of full-time study. If you hold at least a bachelor level award in a non-theological discipline, then possibly the Master of Theological Studies is right for you. This is 2 years in length and consists of 12 semester-length units. Alternatively, you could also apply for admission to the Master of Divinity course. 3 years or 18 units long, this is roughly the postgraduate equivalent of the Bachelor of Theology degree. Perhaps more importantly, it tends to be the degree program recommended for most ordinands, and therefore, uniquely amongst all our diplomas and degrees, requires you to study at least 2 units of either Greek or Hebrew. Now, you should keep in mind that each course at both undergraduate and postgraduate level can be taken part-time as well as full-time, and online as well as face-to-face. Now, depending on what study you have done previously, there is also the possibility of being granted credit, which can help reduce the overall length of the course you're taking. In any event, for guidance as to which course is right for you, advice about unit selection, and also about the option of credit, are all things about which you should speak with me as the Academic Dean. Because part of my role is to help you navigate your way through these various pathways. Let me say something finally about the research-based courses that are on offer. Again, we have 3 courses depending on what you have done previously and what you want to do now. If you have completed a bachelor or even a master's award, but did not include in that study something like an honours thesis, then your pathway into a research award will likely be the Graduate Certificate in Research Methodologies, in which you will write a 16,000-word minor thesis. This is the basic qualifying hurdle for entry into the MPhil or the PhD. Our research coordinator, Dr. Scott Kirkland, can help you determine the best path for you, and can also help you identify possible supervisors with whom you will need to work as you write your thesis, regardless of which course you enter. My one piece of advice is this: if you wish to do a research program, then make sure you have sufficient disciplinary knowledge in the particular field in which you wish to study. Of course, you may not be sure about any of this at the moment. The options may seem too confusing, and you might not even be certain that theological study is for you. If that's the case, then one way of testing the waters is by taking 1 or perhaps 2 audit units. Sitting in the class, engaging in the tutorial conversations, listening to the lectures and doing the readings, but without doing the assignments. This is a great way of finding out what tertiary study in theology is like, without signing up for any particular degree program. If you do enjoy that audit experience, then we'd be very happy to speak with you about applying for admission to whichever course is most suitable for you. I do look forward to speaking with you about these options.
Thanks, Mark. That was really helpful. Some of you may not be sure which program or which course of study is appropriate for you. Don't worry, that's very typical and common with people who are inquiring about studying at Trinity. Please feel free to pose any questions to us via email at tcts@trinity.edu.au. That's tcts@trinity.edu.au. And if you're on social media, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'd like to now introduce our registrar, Peter Campbell, who will speak with you about the financial assistance that is available to our students through a variety of scholarships and studentships. Peter, over to you.
Thanks to generations of generous donors, the Theological School has a range of financial assistance available to students. Our major academic funds are the Joan Adams Scholarships, which can even be residential if you are single and under 24 years of age, and several funds for those intending to study for a PhD. If you are thinking about ordination or lay ministry in the Anglican Church, we have quite a few smaller scholarships, each worth about $3,000 a year, which we call studentships. If you are in genuine financial need, we may be able to help you out with a university bursary or temporary financial aid. So, whatever your situation, it doesn't hurt to ask us for help. We will try to assist you in any way we can to complete your studies.
That brings us to the conclusion of our virtual open house. Thank you all for attending, and I hope to see many of you as students at Trinity College Theological School in the coming months. God bless you.